Good morning, class. As per ICSE 2019, writing a notice and email would be your third question in the examination, the question paper that you get from the board examination. Since then, 2019 till now, and we have no idea how long. So this will be in your format, okay, and we have to put into practice as much as we put into practice writing other composition, letter writing and all. It is that important. First of all, just a quick revision, I would say. Notice and email writing, as I already said, it would be third question in your examination, which carries 10 marks. 5 marks for notice writing and 5 marks for email writing. Now, unlike question number 1, where you have multiple types of composition writing, but at the same time you have options to choose any one and write. Here for notice and email writing, you don't have any option. Here you have to attempt both A and B. Okay, question number 3, A and B, both you have to attempt. Where A is a notice writing, okay, given on regarding a topic. Then B is a email writing related to the same topic, where you have to send an email to whom it is already it would be mentioned in the question. Now let's see some of the specific situation. Okay, if you have this art of fictive writing book, please see that page 286. Here you would be given a specific situation and asked to write a text for a notice board as per given direction. Write an email on the same content as the notice. Okay, that's usually what happens in the question of writing notice and email. Hence, it is necessary to know how to write a notice and email and its format. So, that is why we need to know how to write a notice and an email. Okay, the format of it. Okay, that is very necessary. A notice is the most common method of communication. It is a very common method to communicate, okay, which is used, where do we use? In schools, organizations and government bodies to inform people about various events, okay, public instructions or an important issue. It conveys information in a very precise manner, which is displayed publicly for others to know and follow. So notice writing is generally a very common way to communicate. It is usually published, or you can say notice is usually used in organizations, schools, okay, in public place, public areas, government bodies, okay, and notice is used to inform about various events, okay. It conveys information in a very precise manner. What is required, that we say, and then we end it over there. It is short and not so much elaborative. Instead, it gives you detail about, for an example, like if you are writing a notice for to convey information about about an event that is going to approach. So basically you give some information and then you give them a contact number or how to contact them, so that you can get further more information. Okay, so that is what notice is. Notice, the word itself tells us to put people into notice about the notice. Okay, and notice is about to convey some information. So that is what it is. Writing a notice guidelines, very important. Guidelines for writing a notice: personal pronouns are not used. Okay, you don't use personal pronouns. Use passive form of voice. Okay, write from a third person's perspective. So you have to write in a third person's perspective. You will not write like I or like he or she, but in a third person, someone. Okay, as a third person perspective, you have to use passive form of voice and use and write it. Give all relevant details, preferably in bulletin form. So whatever related and important notes to be given in a bulletin form, like point 1 this, point 2 that, so like that. Okay, give be precise and try to limit your word to around 50. So we will, as I already said, we are not going to elaborate it. So we have to be precise about the information or the notice, and we have to try to limit our word around 50, not more than that. Okay, style and tone of the language should essentially be formal. So the style of writing a notice, or the language that you use, or the tone that you use, should be necessarily be formal tone. Okay, strictly follow the format and enclose the notice in a box. So whenever you write a notice, you have to make a box. Okay, so frame a box first, the outline has to be made, and then within that box you have to write a notice, like you have in page number 287, like this. So you have to frame a box, and then inside this you have to write a notice. Okay, so here they have already given a format which we are not going to use this, because this is an old version of a format that they have written here. So we are going to, I'll give you a format in your next class, probably Monday. But this today we will only see the method and why we need to write a notice, why we need to write an email. So we will see that, and then Monday I'll give you the format where I'll send you a picture of it, and then you will follow that, and then based on that format we'll write samples, more exercises, more examples we are going to try. Okay, so today you will just know about what is notice and email writing. So we just saw what is notice writing. Let's see what is an email writing. Now we know that email means electronic mail. Okay, now there are many ways to send an email. Like nowadays we have so many, like, what do you say, a mail accounts where we can send mail to anyone. Okay, like for an example, you have Gmail, you have yahoo.com, you have what do you have, you have hotmail.com. Similar to this, you have so many. Okay, so this is a electronic mail where we send for form of business or personal communication. For most of us, email is the most common form of business or personal communication. Like letters, they too can be formal or informal. So just like letter, email writing also can be both formal and informal. Okay, formal emails are written to companies, whereas formal emails we write for companies, business, organization, or simply written to promote goods or services. Informal, the personal emails like personal letters are addressed to friends or relatives. A proper email presents a good image of the writer and the organization. So if you write in a very proper and following the format, and so that way if you write it using a formal language, so it will present a good image of the writer, okay, or the organization. So just like when you speak, if you have a very decent way of speaking, okay, so people will have a good image about you. Okay, so she or he speaks very decent, that means she or he is very she has a very good image in front of everyone. Okay, so that is what is the concept. So when you write in a very decent and in a proper way, and you present an email in a proper way, what happens is a good image of the writer or the organization is been placed for the one who reads it. Okay, so how to write an email? Again, follow the simple steps to write an email. Number 1, write the email addressed to the person to whom the email is to be sent. So we have to write that. Without mentioning that, it's not necessary to write or send. Okay, so you have to write the email address of the person to whom the email is to be sent. Point number 2, write the subject line in the subject header. So there is a subject column. Okay, we'll slowly get into that. So there you need to enter a subject. Okay, for what reason you are writing this email. Number 3, begin with a greeting. So you always have to begin with a greeting. Just like you write respected sir when you're writing a letter, whether it be informal or formal, we have a salutation, right? So similarly, you have to begin with a greeting. Okay. Then fourth one, thank the recipient if replying. So if you are replying, then you have to thank the recipient. Thank you for your email, and like, so you have to continue this way. Fifth, state your purpose. You have to be focused, and you have to focus on the purpose of writing this email. Okay, you cannot go astray. There cannot be like other general talk. Stick to your purpose, stick to your point. Sixth one, add your closing remark. So you need to add a closing remark, just like concluding your letter. Similar to like that, you have to have a closing remark for writing an email. And seventh is end with a closing. So you have to end with a closing also. Okay. So yeah, that is it. I'll send you some samples, and then Monday, and then what you do is you practice and you see. Notice carries of 5 marks, email carries 5 marks, so all together makes 10 marks. Both you have to attempt. Today you know that, and then today you also saw guidelines for writing a notice as well as guidelines for writing an email writing. So hope you have understood. If any doubt, let me know. Thank you. Take care.